Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching in the world. I obviously messed up on the design stuff, and I got music playing in the background. We'll perfect this thing yet, as 0-0 on that one. Will I Am Bo says another game down the toilet. I guess that's certainly one way to look at it. And I've got Baz here already signing in. And so let's get into it just before we start. And I'll bring Baz in, and I believe that Josh is coming over to join. Down below, you're going to have the description if you're watching on YouTube. If not, at Twitter, you'll find the description. Come and join us. Have a chat. We can chat through this, and I can bring the comments forward, but I'd love to be able to get your opinion. Come and tell us who you are, when you became a Wrexham fan, and what your thoughts on the game were. So you can do that in the YouTube, on my channel, in the description below. You can find it on Twitter. Go ahead and do all that. Hey, Mike. Hey, 123. I see a lot of people. Chan, I've got it. 안녕하세요. 아이고, 한국 사람 찐찐찌. That's awesome. I like having Korean people here. I think that's awesome. So I'll bring you in right there. Baz, anyway, let's bring you in here. He's walking away from the stadium. This is the first time we've had somebody outside. Bazzy, how are you?
Live in the field. Dasle Publishing reporting. I've got a couple of co-commentators tonight.
Let's get it.
Mansfield lost, apparently. So
and
that's good.
The out-of-town scoreboard was Crew gained points on us.
Right, okay. Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointing draw, to be honest. And so much possession. Again, it seems like a common theme the last couple of games. It felt like an away day performance today. Loads of possession and no substance, no potency. For me, I think Ryan Barnett's first half, he wasn't really firing at his best. And, a couple of balls out to him that missed touch, went out for a throw into them. But, it was clear as day their game plan was to play for a point today, and it worked well. Kept us quiet.
Yeah,
but the
3 shots, and they didn't have one from 20 minutes after, right?
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes of the first half, and then that was the end of their shots.
But, did you enjoy the game? Other than no goals?
I don't know what to take of the game. Look, we were buzzing. We deserved the win. We had all the possession. We had all the shots. Marriott missed an opportunity. Mullen had an opportunity with a header, just blocked. It was one of those things where 2 games in a row against Harrogate, we outclassed them, and we just couldn't get there.
We were speaking to someone at halftime that was saying that Harrogate's away form's really solid. I haven't looked at the statistics myself, but
second in the table,
playing the way they were, it's no surprise. Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, second in the table for away performances. A couple of people, because I had a massive steel girder right in front of me. Was it Andy Cannon that picked up a yellow?
No, worse than that. It was McLean.
Oh, that's bad news. So he's out for 2 games now. 2 games he's out now.
To be fair, it was a yellow card.
Yeah, I know. Without any doubt.
Willis, you can't see the chat, I don't think. But hey, guys, we got people coming in. Josh is supposed to be joining us. I see a lot of people signing over from the Local Pundit, and so I'm just introduced myself to there. We'll see and hope we can hold off. I got my first Korean
followers as well.
And I threw a little bit out there, but I don't want to do too much because I'll just confuse everybody. But
I was going to say, have you been brushing up on it?
No, I forget it all. I see Josh has clicked in here. I just wanted to get, I don't know why, but the scores aren't coming up for me. But Grimsby also beat MK.
Yeah, that's a positive out of today. But again, obviously we've got to play them away as well, and that's the one game that I'm nervous that we could lose because they're a force at home at Blundell Park. So not looking forward to that one.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit away from the Wi-Fi, I think.
Yeah.
I might bring Josh in, and your connection's just getting a little bit weak there. Oh, go ahead.
Possibly, yeah. Wrexham's not very good for its signal.
No, I lost you entirely.
I'll just load up in the car.
I'll bring you back in a second. Just give me a second. Let's grab Josh. Yeah.
Hey, brother.
I've got you muted. We'll until I see the connection gets better. How's that?
Hey, how you doing?
So, if I can click the tab and get actually in here. Oh, sorry, my computer's tripping up a little bit. Josh.
Yeah, my guy.
we're happy because of what happened out of town, but we're frustrated otherwise. But we had a good performance. I don't know. You tell me. 2 cents in 5 minutes. Go.
2 cents in 5 minutes. It was less. I hate to play armchair court. We're in second. We're in second. We're in second. Maka got his yellow card. Let's hope that Stash or Gio can come back. You know,
or
I'm almost
at Connor closer.
Probably just Stash. Probably he's close. Yeah, Stash.
Oh, Stash. Yeah. Sorry. I thought
I call him Stash because Stash. Yeah. What did you think? I'm coming in. I'm coming off of what we were just doing. And by the way, we should do a universal one at one point. But like, what do you think? Where are you at? Where are you at?
So
I'm processing.
I mean, whenever you hold a team to 3 shots and they don't get a single shot after the 25th minute, and really no threats. The only potential arguable threat that they had was that sort of Boyle header that flicked up in the air and Ogonko didn't go out and collect it. And I was like, well, we've seen this script before. But it didn't end up hurting us. Other than that, there was absolutely zero threat. They put 5 in the back and they just said, crack the nut. And we couldn't crack the nut. I give Parky credit that he made subs early, right? We called for that. I was actually okay with the Maka being out there playing. I know there was people voting on whether
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. You're 100% right. You're 100% right.
Especially because if it would have been different if we had a 6-pointer in the next 2 games.
Yep. And to be fair, you can armchair the shit out of it. Sorry, I'm trying not to swear. You can armchair. I get it. No, I get it. You can armchair it now, right? But that was like he played 73 minutes of it, so that's fine, right? So we can armchair that. But okay, can I play devil's real quick?
Yeah.
Should we have made some stuff like up front? You know, maybe give a little more energy in there, and you know, we got a point. Mansfield drop points. I'm talking on both sides of my mouth. But
yes, you are. You tried to play devil's advocate, and then you immediately flipped in 2 sentences later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the frustration. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, you try to make sense of what happened, and really nothing happened until the 65th, 70th minute, right? You had what was our best chance prior to the last little run there? Was it the Mullen cross header that came over off of the corner? I hate our set pieces.
Why is, and I love Elliot Lee, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of the chat's going a little bit crazy. I love Elliot, but he should not be. He shouldn't be taking the corners. He can't be the first man. You know.
I'm with you. He's not the first man up. McLean is over there. I was like, is it the reason why McLean isn't serving it up because he's playing more in Cannon's role and he's further back? So you don't want to send him forward, so you're just preserving his energy and his legs. I get that for some corners, but in the 11th hour when you're still down, you got to run him forward. Luke came in, and then we started to have some magic and some threat from our corners. I mean, you had the Marriott whiff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. But I think that's probably him not being able to. He's not Matt Sharp. He should be playing a little bit more. You know, he's not Billy Waters. 2.0. I'm not going to get. He's a good player than that. We need Bolton to start next game. Young will be replaced. Maka next game. Marriott needs to start again. Play him at Cam? ? He is quick, and we need to pace in midfield.
I can't. Yeah, Young. Well, Young will have to replace Maka unless George comes back or TOC is back. Yeah. And they are only 3/4 because they're rusty. Like if they're healthy, but it's just rust, I still put them ahead of Young. I love Luke, but as far as a skill and ability, despite if it wasn't Mullen, I mean, you had the Marriott chance.
Yep.
You had the Luke Young chance where that bullet, if it was 3 feet to the right or 3 feet to the left, I don't think the keeper's getting to that screamer.
No, you're absolutely right. On TOC's back in training, A2ZEV says. God, I'm sorry. I'm just like kind of still processing it.
We'll process it. I'll bring Baz in because I think his connection is here, and we can all struggle together. And for everybody else, while we're doing it, I don't know if Josh, if you've got it in your description for the people that are watching on your channel, you do.
I got it.
So whether you're watching on the Local Pundit, whether you're watching on the Red Horde, drop it down below. Baz has company sitting in the back seat. Hey guys, you're live around the world. How's it going? Hands are up. Cheers.
Up to town.
I love this live on the field stuff. So Baz,
so good,
I hope you got us on the headset and you're blasting away. Test the mic. Yeah, and of course it doesn't go. It's not good. You just end up with
live
the lag.
TV, man.
So can't hear you. So
it looks great,
wait. It might be me. It might be my fault. I muted you because we were waiting to get connected. So that's an error on my end. Try it again, Baz. Oh, now the website, the connection drops.
By the way, sorry to say that. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off. Is JJ still injured? He must be because, like, I didn't even think about JJ. TLP, South Carolina. Mike Stewart's in the house. Good guy, by the way. Just FYI.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be out for a while, JJ. So I wasn't excuse. No excuse for Merritt. The only excuse I'll try to give the excuse. That ball came in from Mullen. And I think that Marriott thought that he was going to be able to take the ball clean, and it didn't. Fletcher got just a little tiny touch on it to kind of advance it on, and I think that little touch threw the trajectory off. Now, if you want to be critical of what I just said, he still got to it with his right and moved it to his left and had the opportunity to set himself and just missed the shot. But I think in the pace of everything happening, that little, you know what that's like when you go to catch a ball and the wind grabs it and all of a sudden you're freaking out, or whatever it is in sport, the deflection with a goal in hockey. I mean, it's just that little tiny touch that throws off the metrics. But Luke Young screamer, Mullen header that went through everybody. We had how many crosses that were missed? Barney's crosses today, I don't think they've been as bad as they were today.
No, I was like, it might have been one of those games where, and I'm armchairing the crap out of this to make changes. And I said, don't make changes. That's my thought. Don't make changes. But like in the hindsight, it's like we weren't as sharp. And I think they managed us really well. I think Harrogate managed us really well. And going into the match, they had the second best away record in the league, and we had the best home record. So that's, as you know, that's a good battle right there. So you can't fault not getting a home. It's a home game, but you can't not fault it. And granted, we had a good result in Mansfield. So it's like it kind of like peppers. If Mansfield won, it might be a little bit more pissed off. It's
just the only team happy today is Sutton United.
Yeah, because they sat.
Or not Sutton United, Stockport County. Why am I saying Sutton? Stockport County. Stockport County, as we've got somebody who joined, and I think that might be Baz back, but Stockport County ends up looking at the scoreboard and saying, okay, fine, Crew gained on us, but we have 2 games in hand. Wrexham only got a point. Mansfield got nothing. Stockport hasn't been playing well, but if there was anything ever to light a fire under your butt, it's the opportunity to reassert yourselves after some struggles. I'm just going to take a pause here, Chris. You've been absolutely bonkers on my behalf during the watch along today. I appreciate that one as well, and so thank you for that. I don't. Are you at 500 yet?
We are 34 away, 30 away. So
okay. So everybody that's here, my channel or otherwise, go over to the Local Pundit, hit the subscribe button. He does content more than I can during the week, so he'll give the stories. He runs a watch along as well. I don't get jealous about stuff. Find however you love Wrexham and want to experience them, and do that. That. If that's with me, cool. If that's with Josh, fine. Wednesday, Racecourse Ramble, who Matt's not going to be there. Baz, who I'm going to try and bring in here. Go and find that love. And by the way, hit the description button. Come and join, and we'll bring Baz back in.
There you go.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, we've got a bit more signal now because we're outside of Wrexham. It might be a bit intermittent while we're driving back, but you don't get any more live than this. So
you get better Wi-Fi or better service outside of Wrexham than in the city?
In Vancouver, Wrexham City. When there's sort of 12,000 people in close proximity, the airwaves can't handle it. So everyone's checking out Mansfield Crew MK Don scores. What I will say before I cut out is that I'm hoping Saturday Dasle Publishing is going to have an extremely special guest. I'm not going to name drop. I'll leave it as a bit of a cliffhanger so they have to tune in, and we'll try and get her on this show to join the chat from maybe the Wrexham Lager Club or something like that, maybe post-match on Saturday. The wife's away with the girls. I've got all 3 boys. Dan, you're working. I don't think you're going to be there, unfortunately. But
sorry, Dan. That sounds awesome. I'm totally down for it. I'm up for it.
How do we promote whatever you guys need? Yeah, get it out there. Yeah, love it.
So I don't know if you had any other questions. I was telling you, I don't know if you've heard the McLean yellow, Josh. You can feel free to give your opinion. He lost the ball in control, was chasing it down. It was in midfield. You can kind of argue he didn't need to pull him down, but I can understand the circumstance where they had numbers. They're running. He reached around with his right arm, then with his left, and basically pulled his shoulder down. It's a yellow card. That's how I saw it.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
It was a yellow. He was swearing and frustrated, but I don't think it was at the referee. I think it was just because he ended up getting it. Ewan pops in. I just want to talk about this one really quick. Barney was put under massive pressure from their left wing back. That's Odo. I've never
Odo, yeah.
Who am I trying to think of who I didn't know before going into a match and was as impressed by? Odo was an absolute beast down that side, and he had Barney's. And Barney got scared. I said during the live, people can criticize me, but I think Barney lost his confidence, and he stopped attacking him and was going down the right and continually came back and recycled to try to get the switch. And so we were one-dimensional for a period of time, or it was a forced missed cross.
I don't think the crosses in the first half out to Barney were particularly good as well. There was a couple of loose balls that sort of didn't connect well, went out for a throw into Harrogate. But yeah, I totally agree. And I was saying around 60 minutes, just around the time Fletcher come on, 62, I think. I honestly thought Bolton should have come on for Barnes because he was, he'd worked hard, don't get me wrong, but I just felt Bolton's pace could have brought a bit more rather than bringing him in sort of 5 minutes to go, whatever it was.
Can I grab? Sorry, I apologize. Sorry, man. I apologize.
No, it's all good.
On that note, so the late subs, I think, are getting in the way because the energy that was there when everyone came on, when Bolt came on, we could have probably affected the game. He's like 10 minutes late, right? Because I think we could have affected the game and made a little bit of difference. And I know this is hindsight and we're armchairing it, whatever, but they were so aggressive. And to Sean's point, it's I do think that Barney got a little bit, gun shy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, go ahead, what do we think? What do we think about the refereeing decisions? For me, Wrexham were getting very little, although we had a few set pieces our way for very clear incursions. But there were a few innocuous challenges where there was one where I forgot the guy's name, 23, I think it was. He threw himself at the ball, went on the floor, and then he was awarded a free kick. I'm like, some fairly innocuous challenges just getting awarded, and then Wrexham getting slightly more firm challenges and given nothing. So it was a bit frustrating. And the amount of time wasting with the throw-ins, the rolling round, the goalkeeper. How the goalkeeper never got a yellow card with him. He probably created 4 minutes extra time himself.
15 minutes total. Yeah.
I'll take that as far as the referee and what my thoughts was I think it was a situation where the referee was largely giving things to the defensive team rather than to the attacking team. And I just think that because Harrogate wasn't really under threat, but there were a couple of calls early on that were relatively soft that he gave to us. And I was like, oh, I don't know if that's necessarily a foul, but I'll take it. And I think what he was doing was he was just, anytime somebody went to floor as an attack or as a defender, he just gave the foul against the attacking team. And because we had them under pressure, I think that just meant it was us more than not. The Palmer shirt pull, I do agree with. The holding was commonplace, but he finally got the one. But it was a pretty obvious one. I don't really have much to say about the referee other than the time wasting was atrocious.
Yes.
Because I think he called it fair both ways. It just was because it was the defenders always benefited from the free kick on contact. There was a shoulder charge early that he gave, and I think that's the one that I was remembering, that he gave to us a free kick from, which I went, oh, I don't think that was necessarily a clean one. And then he gave it the other way. So I don't know.
Maurice Jones, but ref time management was awful. I think that's to your point. What you're saying, like, the calls weren't bad, but the time management. He should have maybe carded the goalkeeper at some point to just let them know that I'm aware of what you're doing, and then it just exasperated itself into the rest of the game.
And I just want to clarify for John here. I'm not calling out the refs, and I don't think Baz was either. But it's a talking point. I thought, I can see where there would be some disgruntled people. I'm not one of them. This was a case where they parked the bus and they happened to draw an official who called the game such that he was going to benefit the defending team in all circumstances. And calling fouls, and he did. And that's not bad because it was consistent, at least as I see it. And we just weren't able to crack the nut. If we would have scored a goal, I think one was enough today.
Mm-hmm.
Even early on.
Yeah,
it was a 1-0 game.
It was crying out for one, to be fair. But again, it was just that frustration we've talked about in recent weeks, where we were winning possession high up the field, and Luke Young, switching the ball out wide when we had 5 players at one point in the box. Appreciating at that point they were parking the bus, playing 5-4-1. Clear instruction from the management to sort of hold the defensive line for the last 10 minutes. And just frustrating that we couldn't get more balls into a threatening position.
So on that note, so Harrogate, the manager, did a really good job. They have nothing to win or lose. They're not gonna, they're not gonna go down. They're not gonna get in the playoffs probably. But it's like, I wish we would have went for it a little bit more. Parkinson. John's point here: 19 points out of 27. Can't stay. Listen, it's a tough one to not win, but I'll tell you this right now: Mansfield losing is huge. That's huge. It really is. I think we have to take that positive, and it's all armchair.
Well,
stuff.
I don't know if you guys have seen that graphic that I tweeted out that had all of the lineup side by side.
Yes.
Right? We had the toughest match today.
Yeah.
By far. Everybody else was playing a lower place team. Sutton's going to have, or I keep calling them Sutton, Stockport County is going to have a relatively easy game, I think, on Thursday.
Who's that against?
Stockport, they have Grimsby. Or not Grimsby, Salford.
Did Salford
on Thursday. And you can watch it on ESPN Plus in the US on Thursday, DAZN in Canada, Sky in the US, or Sky in the UK, wherever you watch the Carabao Cup stuff. It was picked up by TV, so they play Thursday, Monday, not Tuesday, Saturday this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a free match out there on Thursday, 12:45 start Pacific, 3:45 in the East, and 7:45 at night if you want to watch the Stockport one. So as it sits, and I can bring up the table, we're 2 points behind Mansfield. We're 1 point up, but 2 games played. Stockport has 2 games in hand.
They play Thursday, right?
Crew's drawn closer. They gained 2 points up on us, and they're sitting at 64, equal on games played. And Milton Keynes, I said at the start of this game that this was important for them because they've got some easier matches here, and then they play their big matches, their 6-pointers. That if they drop these points, they're really putting themselves into pressure. So now where we were hoping Crew was going to fall off, now we're hoping MK falls off. Mansfield, let's let them slip. Stockport struggling. It's just madness.
Yeah. Sorry, I know Baz is driving it. This league is. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Never, right?
It's
never.
It's nuts. I did have a question that I wanted to get to from Ruby.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one.
This one I wanted to talk about, and this is for Baz probably more than anything. The goal line at the back, like when Wendy went down with that injury, I think it was from when he was. Not from the contact from the defender that came into him. I think it was from him running down the little grade. And I assume that is rain management control. But
is this when the Harrogate player went down just before half time?
No. That was a hammy before halftime. This was late in the game. I don't know if you saw it, but Mendy kind of had a play on the left-hand side of the net of the goal. Then he ran down, and then when he got off the pitch, he actually hit the deck for about 3 seconds, 5 seconds. It looked like he'd hurt himself. He got back up and played. But when it first happened, I went, oh God, we just lost Mendy. And when they played the replay, it showed the gradient at the race course on the tech end being on a fairly heavy grade away from the pitch. Is that normal at other stadiums? And B, if it is at our stadium, why are we up on the corners and down behind the net? Because it looks just like an accident waiting to happen. And the internet
just broke up a bit.
We lost him.
There we go. We got him.
Got him.
Okay. Well, wait for Baz to come back and reply. If anybody's watching from Wrexham, let me know if I've seen that.
Come on in. By the way, on the good note on here, Michael Hillier says, Mansfield Crew Stockport games, do you think mentally we can overcome and win those games if we have to win the promotion?
Well, I'm just gonna mute you there for a second, Baz, and then we'll come back to that question that it's up on the down below.
Right.
Mansfield Crew Stockport games, do you think mentally we can overcome and win those games? We have to if we want promotion. Yeah. I mean, to me, Wrexham's proven that they've got the capacity to win big games recently. I know that historically there's been some, but the Boreham Wood game has to stand out. Notts County last season. They've got that team largely there. They didn't play well against Stockport County for sure, but they've done well against Mansfield. They were okay early on against Crew. I think that they've got the capacity to take it. The big question for me is, our 6-pointers are all at the end. These games, we need the points to relieve the stress and pressure down the road. And we've got to take points on the weekend, and we've got to do that, get as many as we can before Mansfield. Mansfield losing helps us out because it keeps the pressure equal on both sides. That's my take. I don't know, Josh, if you've got a different.
No,
take.
I kind of agree with you. Like, I think I hate to put it this way, and it's like you don't want to like you look at it how it's like the goal is to get promoted, right? We'd love to win the league. We're in a great position, right? The things that are happening are some things are falling in our favor. We didn't win, but it's like, okay, we got a point, and when we look back at it, like, hey, remember that point we got against Harrogate Town today? He's like, that made sense, so you try not to be too harsh on it and go into the negativity. So it's like, this was, we should have won. We didn't win. We got a point, and Mansfield lost. And I think those are like buildable things we need to build on, and to maintain the fact that like it's not always going to be perfect. You know what I mean? And this is a journey, and I think we're on the journey. We're in second place. The thing that scares me, though, I'm sorry to put this on you.
Nope.
Stockport have 2 games in hand. I know you mentioned it earlier. That's the only thing that scares me. But we're in a great position, and I'm not like, it would bite your hand off if you told me at the beginning of the season.
Bears chasing down 5 people can only eat 2. As long as Crew and MK continue to struggle, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Only concern for me before this match, I thought Stockport County's had a bad run of form. You look at them, they've got 2 losses back-to-back, 2 draws before that. They've got 5 points in their last 5. That's not good enough.
That's not good enough.
Which is great. I hope that this doesn't embolden them and drive them forward. That now they've got a chance to reassert themselves at the top of the table, and we've got a hot Stockport County going forward. But then you look at Mansfield Town, they've got their loss today. That's 3 losses in their last 6.
Yep.
For a team that didn't lose almost all first half of the season.
Yeah. Can I ask you, as you're there, and who does Walsall have? Because Walsall have been hot. I know they're not. Is Walsall going to be able to?
They were hot. They were cold. See, there's lots of teams down below us. Morecambe, remember, went on a massive run, and then they fell off. Harrogate, they went 10 games where they only lost 1 game, and then they went 6 games where they only won 1. Like it's everybody seems to be going through those hot and cold patches.
Yeah.
And you got to ride it when you're good. It's a fun part of the league that the dynamic changes so much in like 3 to 4 game sets. I'm finding.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a great way to put it. You said 3 to 4 game sets. It's like, oh, they're hot. They're not. They're hot. They're not. It's like there's a balance here that seems to be working out, and we have we didn't win today, but we still have the most home matches out of the, I think it's like 4 of the last 5 of the last 9.
We got nine left, and we've got 5 left. I can bring that graphic up. It won't be updated from what I had before, but it nicely kind of puts everything together. I'll see if I can add that picture.
On
if
that
not,
so we beat Mansfield. So this, I don't know that it's a.
We're already looking forward, though.
Yeah. So if we beat Mansfield and Stockport County at home and we win against Crewe, then it should be secure promotion. I can't. It's a emoji. It's not really a thing. So that makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, and there's Hugh giving us the update, and I'll try and bring my screen up if I can do it. I just don't know if it's going to be so when it minimizes everything so small.
It's a working. We're still working out the kinks here. This is Sean's doing really well. It's hard to navigate, so please bear with. He's doing a fantastic job.
It's always going to be a thing here.
Yeah.
And so it should grab that and move it forward.
Call me John. Okay, John. Okay, there you go.
What else can we talk about during the game as this is trying to load out? There it is. And let's zoom this in if I can. How's that? Is that visible?
Little graphic-y, but it's perfect. I don't know if anyone can see that. My end might be because my internet, but no, there you go.
So I'll just read it off. We don't have the Salford City result for this week, right? But next week, you've got MK Dons and Crewe playing each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's helpful.
That's
6 pointers. Let's go for a draw, and they can each lose 2 points. We have our run now of 2 games that are must wins against lower table teams. We got to take care of business in Tranmere and Grimsby. Look, if we go through the run before Mansfield and can say that we've taken wins against Tranmere, Grimsby, that's 5 wins and undefeated in 6. That's a healthy run. We can be optimistic. We can be John. And be super happy and content, right? We lose those ones and we really put the pressure on us, right? You look at the rest of the games that follow. The following weekend we've got Grimsby. The Dons play Stockport County. Yeah,
interesting. So I to your point right there, Sean.
Or sorry,
I'm just. It was right. It's to your point. It's like, okay. Are we trying to get it promoted, or are we trying to win the league? And it's like tough to, like you just said, this is all like good math, and you can map it out. We're going to win that one. But I think what we're saying is like the goal is to get promoted, right? We don't, and to be selfish, we want to win the league. And it's like we don't need to win the league. It's like how do we, get ourselves to the point where like, we're going to get promoted, and this would be sexy to win the league. But there's a lot that can still happen, but there's a lot in our favor that can make this happen where we're just going up. It's with the 3. It's such a weird thing to say. It's such a weird thing to say. Kim says,
I'm with you, and I think Kim's with you. Said to me, it's automatic promotion is the only goal. That's exactly what Kim said. Exactly what you said. If we get a trophy at the end of it, cool. That's awesome, and have another parade and we can celebrate. But getting up to League One is the goal, and then being able to tie a knot in the rope and hang on and not come down from League One would be the goal the following year. Would be to
what do you think of Mike?
Put us mid-table. Is Baz still on mute? He may be.
What do you think of Mike Starkey?
Sorry, I did have you muted there, Baz.
Go ahead.
That's okay. Can you hear me?
Ken.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's interesting the point you were saying before about Stockport having games in hand. We have a saying in British football that we'd rather have the points on the board than the games in hand because you've still got to win them games. But totally take on board your point. There could be a potential impetus, and if they've got quite a big squad as well, similar to ours, maybe not as deep, but there's a good opportunity there to get some minutes into players. But again, at that crunch time, the business end of the season, when you've got a bit of fixture congestion, you pick up an injury, you pick up a card, it can have a detrimental impact. So, we've been in similar positions ourselves before where Wrexham have run out of steam when they've been playing catch up. And you probably go back to 2013-14 seasons where we just had picked up too many injuries cards in the congested fixture backlog where we were playing the games in hand. And again, a lot of that was down to playing on poor pitches. So I think Wrexham's really benefited from having such a really good home pitch, due to obviously the returfing and everything a couple of years ago. It takes a couple of seasons for the pitch to sort of really bed the grass in. But, you know, the racecourse looks absolutely amazing when you compare it with the likes of Newport County. I haven't looked how many games in hand they've probably got, but I imagine there'll be a few.
But can I just put on that right now? Like, the pitch looked great today. I think I was like, I did this when you said that about like certain things. Like, I think we need to, and I'll get everyone. I want to get. Obviously, I'm not taking charge or whatever. Like, hey, look where we are, and it's like this is really a good position. Like, if we're gonna take this in, it's like we're in a cup competition. Like, we're in March Madness basically for the United States, you know, and it's like, okay, what's the wins, what's the losses, where we're at, and there's such a dynamic there. And you know, I think that Sean has mapped it out really well. What he just said, what he just mapped it out, like where are those wins, what's going to happen? It's such an algorithm, and I think, you know, if we're going to be like overly positive, like Jesus H, even dropping the points today, you know, we're solid, but we still need to take care of business. I think that was Sean who said that. Take care of business. I think you said that, Sean.
I may have. I don't remember what I say in a day, but I do want to add one point on Stockport County to play devil's advocate. I've muted you, Baz. Just let me know when you're ready and you get the screen back. I can see you and hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you. Let's play devil's advocate with Stockport. Is they've got a bad bit of form right now, and as much as they're celebrating and it might push them up, if their form continues, they have 3 games in 9 days.
Jesus H, really?
Because they don't play till Thursday because they got this game got moved to Thursday. Their Saturday game got moved to Monday, and then who do they have at the end of that? The Dons.
The Dons, yeah. So it's a Salford, Crawley, and MK, and then Forest.
Correct. No, Salford, Crawley, and then the Dons. So it's away to Salford, away to Crawley, and then you come back and you've got 5 days, 6 from Monday to the Saturday to recuperate, and you go against a massive 6-pointer. They could end up falling off. Who knows? Like the number of narratives that every team has here is the permutations are just astronomical because you can't predict anybody's form. We're solid at home, but we dropped 2 points to Harrogate today in a game that, you know, that people will be frustrated by. It's just it's maddening. And there he is, and I'll bring the volume back up. Okay. Yeah. And before Baz, just 1 sec, another reminder. So I'm only going to be able to be on for an hour or a little bit longer. Cool. I've got to make up all these hours working tonight. But down below is a link button. I want to chat to people. If you haven't been on here before, we've had Aruba, we've had the US, we've had lots of people from Wrexham. Wherever you are in the world, Finland, I guess, with Sheldon, who's joined. And so wherever you're at, come in, tell us your story. When did you become a Wrexham fan? It's a gateway. That's what we're serving, is to just try and connect people. So I'd love to hear your story and your thoughts. So let's do that as I try to go through the chat and keep it up. Baz, go ahead.
So here we go, right? Remember, and I appreciate it's back to front, but a few weeks ago when I said how many points, I predicted 30 points. 30 points in the last 12 games. So far, Forest Green, I expected us to win that. We drew that one. And then we've had Accrington, Stanley and Morecambe, won both of them. And yeah, Harrogate, that was 3 points for me. A bit disappointed tonight, really, especially with the amount of possession we would have had. I haven't seen the official statistics. But for me, 2 really tricky games. Well, 3 back-to-back. This is going to be the trickiest spell now. So Tranmere at home, even though when you look at their league position, if you take into account that Dan was just telling me as we were walking in the house that they've beat Stockport and who was the other team they've just played? But yeah, they've just won 2.
Accrington Stanley, the 4-1.
Was it? Yeah. They've just won two games back to back, and they'll be coming into it full of confidence. And let's not forget, it's a derby match. It really is. We haven't played them in the league for quite a few years, probably about 4 or 5 seasons now, I think, since because they got promoted from the conference, they went up to the first, then they came back down, and Tranmere is a team that's struggling for cash at the moment. So, but again, players have got a real bad habit of getting an extra 10-15% energy levels, and I'm a bit nervous about that one. For me, I was expecting a draw on that one, and Grimsby a potential banana skin, just because the quality of players they've got, even though the league position probably isn't truly reflected. I think they've started lifting up the league as well in recent weeks, Grimsby. So I'm quite nervous about that one. But then, for me, Doncaster, Colchester, Crawley, Forest Green at home, I think we need to be winning them games. And then that leaves us such a comfortable position where hopefully we've secured a top 3 berth.
So
if I have it correct, after this game, all of our games are either lower third team or 6-pointer. If you clean up all the lower third tier points and you win out.
Yeah.
Have I frozen? Or Josh?
No, you're good.
No, I'm still there.
You're good. I got you.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying 20?
If we clear those points out, we're in good stead for the 6-pointers.
Yeah. So you're saying like 21 points, basically. 21 points are available if we're going to take out those 6-pointers, right? Because you have 27 points available.
Yeah.
Take out 6, right? 21 points. How many of the 21 do we need to get? 15? 12?
Well, if you do it, the stats are 82 is 50% of the time 82 points gets you to the promised land. 100% of the time you need to get to 88. The lowest ever, and it happened twice, was 78 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been shooting for 82, 83 points.
That gives
50 to
60% of the time it works every time. So there you go. Sorry, that was a bad.
There you go.
Yeah. But you're right. 27. So sorry, I apologize. Go ahead. There's a bit of.
I'm going to canvass this for the people in the chat because I'm getting you guys broken up a little bit, both of you, and I seem to be okay on mine. I just want to make sure that we've got the connections all sorted out. If it's a problem on my end, so that I can attend to it.
Go ahead.
If we're fine everywhere, then I'll just keep marching on, and it just seems to be me, which is weird, being the person who's streaming it off the restream. But so if you do that math, and right now we're sitting at 67 points, it's an easy calculation to just go 83 minus 67. 16 points gets us a 50-50 chance. I think we can do 16 points here.
Yeah. I think you're right. Definitely.
Yeah, Kim's identified obviously 84 points, but let's hope that that's what works out, and we'll see what ends up happening. I'm going to take a break just to watch this for a second. Josh, I don't know where you want to go with it, but I'll give you a lead time to think about it and just take over for me.
I got you. All right. So yeah, on the notes. So listen, 84 will probably be necessary. That's good. I think that's we can do that. Hugh Davies said Tranmere will park the bus. More confident about the win on Saturday. Listen, I think we're positioned ourselves to be positive, and we're moving forward. So I can hear the fact that we dropped points today, but Baz was there in regards to do you think that? Let me ask you this, Baz. So we're going to lose Maka next in the midfield. What do you think that's going to be? Who are we going to put in there? How are we going to make this happen? And how are we going to put this forward for that for the next match?
Yeah, because James Jones is out, isn't he? Could you put Bolton? I think Bolton can play midfield, can he? Or again, maybe Marriott even. Who knows? Funnier things have happened, but we're not going to see Tom O'Connor just yet.
No, you don't think so? Why was he on the bench? But he's been training. You don't think he's ready? I'm just throwing it out there. He's not. He's obviously not ready.
I think I heard he was training on the grass this week, but Luke Young. Yeah, Starkey's just put Luke Young. I think Luke Young deserves a run. He's capable, and he could put a position. He could put a performance in. Again, you've got Cannon and Elliot Lee just in front of him. Luke Young as the holding midfielder, potentially. But to be fair, Andy Cannon, he was all over he covered every blade of grass tonight, and he's becoming a real fan's favourite. He's definitely starting for me. Elliot Lee, any thoughts on Elliot Lee picking up man of the match? It wasn't my view.
I could not pick out a man of the match today. I really couldn't.
I think Max did well.
Max did great. Max is the most improved player of the season, right? Do you all agree on that? I would agree.
Yeah.
On my end, Max did well, and I just think that Max is sharp, and O'Connell's doing well. This is a note here too. I thought I saw it. Do you think that Stockport game will be televised? No, I lost it here. I lost it moved on me. I apologize. What do you think of Boyle?
I thought he had an all right game, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'll take that off now. It's a bit warm.
Yeah.
The only thing's missing now out of my hands, a beer. Nice cold beer.
You need a beer, yeah. I thought Boyle did well. I thought the back three are great, right?
Yeah.
Did Elliot Lee get the man of the match? Did I miss that?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, he's not quite at his best. He put a good shift in. Don't get me wrong, but I think Mullin played. He played his plums off tonight. Like he was out left. Him and Palmer were sort of switching up front to sort of keep rotating and sort of keep the defense on the toes a little bit in the earlier stages, which was working quite well. But again, just that final ball, it was getting closer and closer, but just so frustrating, I felt. But yeah, I mean, there was a spell where I think because their goalkeeper was just taking so much time every single ball that went out to him. We were pressing, we were getting a few corners, some going out for goal kicks, and I think it just lifted the crowd, because people were getting really peed off with the fact that the referee seemed a bit oblivious to all the time wasting from Harrogate, but and I think that just lifted the crowd. It got a bit more vocal in the last sort of 10 minutes, but the atmosphere was all right, but it's been better.
David Holliday says, what needs to happen for Davis to get a start? He doesn't look as match sharp as the others. Like today, when he came on, he was as a sub, but he could be fixed for some playing time.
Give the ball away cheaply a couple of times as well.
I don't think to that point, and I don't think Parkinson is willing to really make changes. And everyone's opinion is obviously out there, and granted, he's not willing to make the changes, which I've agreed not make the changes today. But like in hindsight, it's like, I would like to see a little more aggression. But some of the guys that came on, do you think they could be effective in the next games coming up? I mean, what are you thinking?
I don't know. I think Barney didn't look as sharp as he has been. So maybe an opportunity for Bolton to start. I can't see it happening. But he's got a few minutes in him the last couple of weeks, months. So I'd like to see him start, and then maybe bring Barnett on as an impact sub for 20 minutes, because we know Bolton's got the pace. He can run up players, and like Hugh was saying, Tranmere won't be parking the bus, so it gives you the opportunity to play down the wings, get forward. But Barnett was kept very quiet again by Odo tonight. He wasn't able to whip them corners in, from the balls from the corner, whip them in. There was one or two occasions where a little flare of tried to cut inside and do a little diagonal run, but he just couldn't beat Odo tonight, who looked a decent player, to be fair. Maybe we go in the market and get him as a wing back to replace McLean or something, but
John, you good? You back in?
I think you look good.
It's fascinating to me. It's pixelated. I'm probably going to bring it up on the phone, but and chat that way and just keep this in the background, because everything seems to be working. It's just for whatever reason you guys are pixelated, but it's only to me. I've checked YouTube and everything seems to be fine. Anyway, leave the tech gremlins behind. I think Barnett's been solid all the way through. he's been very impressive. He just wasn't on for the day. Does that mean Bolton gets the replacement? I'm sort of lukewarm in there. I was shocked. Like, I clapped and applauded when Parkey made the subs. It's the 63rd minute, I think, is when Fletcher came in for Palmer.
Yeah.
That's new to me. Could he have come on earlier? Sure. But in Parkey world, we certainly changed the script there.
That's a miracle.
Yeah, absolutely is.
What?
So
can I ask a question to you both? Like, what's we're not there, and we're obviously, I'm in LA. He's up north. He's in Canada. What's the vibe in the stadium? Like, is it cautiously compared to last year? Is it similar? Very cautiously optimistic? Is it just like, oh, we're watching like this? Like, what are you feeling?
I've put a bit of I've got some footage tonight in Glyn's bar, which is short for Glyndŵr. It's a student union bar next to the ground. We were up in the Mice Gwyn, went there, and I got about 8-9 of my family's predictions, and apart from my sister who went for 3-1, everyone was like 3-0, 4-0 tonight, and my prediction was 4-0. I thought we need the goal difference. We'd be full of confidence. I was fairly convinced Parkey would go for the same team lineup, which he did. But then, I think that last 10 minutes, because the stadium felt like it was a game we should be winning. You could tell every single ball when it fell to Harrogate or went to the goalkeeper for a goal kick, everyone was just like, oh, not again, and just frustration crept in. But again, then the crowd was sort of recognising that the players needed that bit of support, and just sort of lifted it with a bit of singing and creating a bit of an atmosphere. Not as good as it has been in the past, but there was levels of that tonight towards the last sort of 15-10 minutes. Does that sort of answer your question? There was a few moments sort of holding hands or head in hands, and deep sighs of frustration.
Was it quieter? Was it quieter in the first half than normal? Was that a byproduct of the game? It just felt like it was a quiet day today until the second half, and we started making our chances. What did it? I was like, I didn't know if the volume gains were turned down or not.
No, I noted. I think the first 5 minutes, the fans really, because it felt like a long time since we've had a Tuesday night game under the lights. A few people who had beers and stuff like that at that point getting to the ground. Certainly, it bumped into a few Harrogate fans who looked like they'd had a few on the bus. So there was a few of them singing songs outside the Mice Gwyn, which is a bit risky. But no, to be fair, I was quite impressed. I think the first 5 to 8 minutes, the Wrexham fans, particularly in the tech end, were really sort of quite singy and getting the team going. But it kind of dropped off a little bit until sort of the last bits. But I think you'll see something. I think because it's a local derby, I think the noise levels will be something next level. Hopefully people get into town a little bit earlier. I know I will be, because the wife's away on a girls' weekend, so it's me and the boys. Dan's got to work, unfortunately, so shame on him. But
is the game at home this weekend?
Yes, yeah,
it is.
So it's I think it'll be a beer-fueled festival of goals, hopefully, for Wrexham. That's what I'm hoping.
Sean and I have an extra hour. We'll be up a little an hour later. No, because we're.
Of course, because your clocks go back early.
Yeah, we went back. So yeah.
Nice.
I think I can't be. Listen, I know we dropped 2, but I'm happy that Mansfield dropped. So it wasn't the best performance, and maybe I'll make some changes. But hindsight, it's all right, cool. I get it. It's like the journey, not the destination. We're on this journey, and the destination is getting promoted. And I think one of our guys said one time earlier, it's Wrexham are so used to being the underdog, now they're the favorite, and transitioning from the underdog to the favorite is such a different mentality chase. So I think this is part of it too. It's okay, cool, and you don't want to be complacent at the same time. So there's talking about both sides of the mouth. So I think there's something there to that. So I'm good with taking the point today, especially with Mansfield dropping. So I'm fine.
John's getting to you, man. John's getting to you. Is that optimism?
No.
Just...
Listen, I'll be fair. I love John, but I love John. John has me on total just lockdown with this is all John. He's got. Yeah, he's got.
Yeah. Kim's put a raucous affair on Saturday. That's what's needed. I think it will be. Bit of feedback
drunk.
there. I don't know what's happening.
Apparently, John thinks I'm drunk. It's 3:45. I do not think I'm drunk. I wish I was though. Yeah. What else? John says. What else we got going on there? I think Sean, I have an echo here.
I can hear you guys, and I'm trying to get it swapped onto my phone here so I can get you guys in. I'm going to mute myself on this one and jump in over here.
The good thing is,
and I should be good on this one. And I will take a break and say my apologies to everybody who's on my channel. I've put the wrong description. Aaron Huser, you've been in line and I haven't pulled you in. Jump over to the Local Pundits temporarily because I'm dealing with some tech issues on my end. The Tuesday madness and work didn't set everything up right. So if you want to join and you're on my channel, go over to Josh's channel or Baz's channel if he's put the description in and it's streaming. I know it's on Josh's. And click the description there and join the channel. And that's on me for putting that forward, and I apologize for that. So
when next against the face of Mansfield at home. Okay, what do we got here going on? As far as I'm trying to get a little bit of the chat here going, other than John trying to say I'm drunk, which is awesome. Beat the lower teams. They'll
Raucous Affair.
Yeah, Raucous Affair. Just made a veg curry, says Hugh Davies. Okay, great. Raucous Affair. Let me see here. What else we got going on? Let's see what else. Could Mullen do a job high midfield, Marriott up front, but Cannon will be left holding a player. Mullen dropped back a bit today. I saw that happening, but I think this is just indicative of just how the game went. Will he get a start? I don't think so. I think he's going to stick with balls.
No.
No, you right? Right?
No, he's not gonna get dropped, is he? I don't think.
No, he's not. There's no way. There's not.
Can't see that happening.
No. Going into the weekend, do you think he makes changes now, or what do you think?
No, I don't know. Let's have a look. I mean, Tozer, he's been on the bench the other day, but for me, unless there's a problem with Owen O'Connell, Will Boyle, and certainly Max doesn't deserve to be dropped. So that's the only thing would be if Parky deems that we need that long throw in. He might be the only surprise, I think, breaking into the team, other than obviously Luke Young, who would agree with Starkey earlier that I think he's the natural choice that he'll bring in on Saturday against Tranmere. Let's say Tom O'Connor, not sure how far away he is. I think he's probably got maybe he could come on, make an appearance as a sub, start getting some minutes if he makes good progress through the week, hopefully. But then if it is the case that Tom O'Connor's at full fitness, would you see Will Boyle dropping out possibly? I think he's probably done enough to keep his place in the team.
I agree. I wanted to bring that up too. And Kim said this here: the McLean yellow is a problem that wasn't necessary. I think about that too. I think Sean brought it up earlier. Like, if we have a full team right there, like who's our starting lineup? Like Gio and Stash, they come back in. How do we position this? As Mendy kept his left side, do we put Mac in the middle? Who drops Cannon? Like, how does it go? How does that work out? Because I think for me, this is just me personally. I think the downfall of what we had on our short downward spell is Gio and Stash. I think they're the best on ball players, and then we start to go long ball after that. If they come back in the side, who's going to sit? And now that Macca might sit 2 games, do you think Stash can come back in and take a space? Does Boyle go out?
Yeah, possibly. Just looking, we're looking a bit thin on the ground, aren't we, down that left side with McLean out. Sorry, because you asked me a question earlier, and it was cutting out something about Mendy. Was it
just
saying about Mendy? Did he go down? Bit of game management, maybe.
maybe game management. I was saying like basically like I think bringing Gio and Stash back. Like who's gonna sit down? Because I feel like if we're gonna go forward, we got to. Arsenal won, by the way. I don't know if you're watching the match. Arsenal won in penalties. Who will take a sit? Who will sit down? And I think Gio and I think Stash are two best players in the middle of the park.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. What have you heard any updates on Big George?
No, I messaged. I had Richard Williams on from The Leader a couple weeks ago, and I messaged him trying to get a little update, and nothing. He hasn't gotten me back. I understand he's probably he's got to work his job, but I haven't heard anything back. But I mean, Gio seems to be a couple weeks away, but all he's like back training, right? But for me, like Stash is back. I call him Stash. Tom O'Connor. Stash. I mean, it's so good, right? Stash is back.
It goes well with that dodgy mullet. Looks like something from a 70s crime drama.
Yeah, well, have you watched The Gentleman on Netflix?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. No, I want to watch that. Yeah,
it's good.
That looks good.
Yeah, check it out. It's Guy Ritchie. So watch The Gentleman. He's like good. Totally fit for that. My boy Max Beasley's in it. He's a good dude. Max Beasley?
Oh yeah. It's good that.
It's a good shot, but he totally fits in that. But anyways, like getting him back, like I think we need him back to step on the ball.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see Tunnicliffe back maybe before the end of the season. The only positive is that we knew McLean had been picking up cards, and he was always going to be close to getting one. Could you imagine if he didn't get a card for a couple of games and then he ended up sitting out for Crewe and Stockport? I think we need him for them big ones. So when you look in hindsight, Tranmere, we can deal with them. Grimsby. We've got threats that Parky's got to adapt his game style because it's worked really well with him in that part of the field. I was really hopeful when he brought Marriott on, and he had Fletcher and Mullin up front. I felt quite optimistic that we might just nick that goal, but at the same point, I saw down in the dugouts the Harrogate manager. I forgot his name now. Was it not Simon Weaver? Is it? Yeah. Saying that he could see he was going 5-4-1 and just lob balls up to who was the big one up front now? Muldoon, Jack Muldoon. He's quite a decent player. At this level, long balls. He's a bit like Palmer. He can hold the ball up. The ball got back to him at one point, and if it had been a fraction of a second earlier, he might have beat his man and been through on a conquer. What was your opinion on the? I think Harrogate got a corner. The goalkeeper come up to the halfway line, and Okonkwo got the ball, and everyone was just like, shoot! But he only kicked the ball as far as the halfway line, which was quite frustrating because he's got quite a long kick on him. So there was a real good opportunity there where if he'd have got it up to Mullin or whoever was on with him then, whether it was Fletcher or Palmer, just a little dink in the back of the goal. It was little spells where we were getting excited, but just unfortunately it's come back down to spells where we had 5 players high up the pitch in the box and the ball goes out wide or backwards. Sometimes you have to do that, but sometimes you don't have a shot. I haven't seen the stats yet. I mean, I don't guess Wrexham had many shots on target tonight.
I think it was 4, right, Sean?
I was going to say 3, maybe. I was thinking.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
And they didn't have a single one after the first 25 minutes. So I'm back. Aaron, you said you're trying to come on and you had some issue. That's on my fault, my end. Go to either Daz's website, Dasle Publishing, or Local Pundit. Links in the description. I put the wrong link to get the chat, so you're in the one from the last time. Because that was the chat I tried to join. So that's on me. Stupid rookie mistake. We'll figure out these as we go through. Thanks to everybody for hanging with me while I go through this, and for Josh and Daz for holding down the fort. I've probably missed most of the conversation.
Live TV, man.
Have you seen Keith Scotty's comment there? Could Dolby do a job in midfielder?
No.
You know
what?
He's fishing. He's fishing.
I will say this. I am pleasantly surprised by his first touch. And there are times where, as far as moving forward, could he play in maybe the role that Cannon normally does? Maybe. But I wouldn't put him anywhere else in our midfield. That would be the only one. I don't
Out of the
want
box
him.
thinking, though. It's something, maybe we get sprung with a surprise, but Parky's fairly resilient with his decision making, so I don't see it.
Yeah, no, I'm in.
Or is
I'm
it
in agreement.
17 shots on target? Is that us?
That's us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 on tag. That's pretty. Yeah. But
Well,
to be fair, there
did
was
we
an
talk about
opportunity.
the Paul Mullen, or not the Paul Mullen, the Palmer attempt that went over to the left and just missed? Did you guys go over that one?
That was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Because that was as best a chance we probably had. The other one was where Elliot Lee took a corner. It went to Mullen on the back post, who whipped it back in. And again, there was a couple of times where we had 2 players on the opposite post, and just millimeters or milliseconds away from a brief connection, deflection, past the keeper in the back of the net. And on other days, we could have got 2 or 3 of them, but unfortunately for us today, it's just not paid off. A point's good. It keeps the pressure on, but deeply frustrating when I was expecting a 4-0 win, basically.
I think this is one of those where it's like, hey, listen, we got through it. We wanted more out of it, and I think the results of where we're at.
Mike Starkey. He wants to put Mark Howard in midfield. Let's have a go.
Yeah.
Let's get Parky on here. We need to have a word. He'd be a belter with that one. He could shoot from midfield.
2 left feet, right? Left back. Yeah.
I just that last comment that I just had highlighted. Now I got to go back to it and find it. Lee coming off the corners. I mean, we beat a dead horse maybe with this one, but when you look at a game where
McLean now, he's going to be taking left and right.
Yeah.
Well, but he was earlier. McLean was taking both left and right side up until what was it, 6-7 games ago, and they brought Lee back into them when Gabe Young wasn't on. That's what I mean. Lee is new. And you know what it was? Is I remember hearing before that, and I think it was Matt actually on the Racecourse Ramble was talking before Lee took corners and saying, why is it that Lee can't take corners? And I thought, I've never actually seen Lee take corners. Why can't he take corners? And I don't know if Parky had heard him and was like,
he was in the turf. He's like, hey, you know what? Elliot Lee should take corners. And he's like,
take corners.
He should take corners. You want to know why? Because he can't beat the first man. That's why. Like, what's going on?
But more important for a game like today, for me anyway, when you have a game where they're parking the bus, it's 5 in the back, you're trying to crack the nut in an open play, you're just not making it through, it makes your set pieces that much more important. So to me, I'm trying to bring the thought mob up to see how many corners we got. But do you think,
guys, I don't necessarily think they, and I'm not being disruptive, I don't think they parked the bus. I think they actually played a bit of football. I think they managed the game. Yes, they were deep. They didn't go out and then they weren't overly aggressive. But then again, we weren't overly aggressive trying to get out there until the last 10 minutes, right? So I think that they managed the game to this is what we wanted. We're not going to make any chances. It's like a cup game. Like, hey, I agree that you're not going to score, and you agree that we're not going to score. It was like a weird match where it's like it didn't really matter. And I thought that we need to be the team a little bit more aggressive and to go a little bit out there. But I thought that was what the game. Like, hey, you punch me, I'll punch you. You punch, but I'm not going to knock you out. That's kind of how I saw this match. And I'm not being
I'm gonna counter that just by saying, so statistically, when I went into the game, and I know statistics aren't everything, and I appreciate that, but I went, okay, what time of game does Harrogate play? They are near the top of League 2 as far as their accurate long balls. There are no accurate crosses, and they don't have a lot of possession, and they don't get a lot of shots, but they convert high on their shots. So I went, this is a team that is counterattack and long ball heavy. And that fits with their five in the back style. Is they're just that they are going to be thumping ball forward and hoping for a bounce, hoping for a missed touch and a break, and putting it through. To our backline's credit, they easily handled and deflected 99% of the stuff. And so I think when it comes to looking at the game as far as saying park the bus, they did, but that was part of their strategy in the sense that they were looking for the bounce, and they just never got it. So,
by the way, Kieran is Kieran's sorry, he is a Newport County fan. He comes.
Welcome.
He's on. Yeah.
Then let's say this, and let's make the pitch. Welsh Cup May 5th. Wrexham's taking on Cardiff City in the women's, and they've decided to put that at Rodney Parade in Newport. So I'm hoping Kieran's able to support our girls as they take on Cardiff City. I don't know why it ended up in Rodney Parade. This isn't to insult Kieran and Newport fans.
No, Kieran, come on in. He's actually a good lad. Come on in, Kieran. He's really.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, he's good. He's good shout.
And I got a message from Aaron. Aaron, I did see that you were able to join because I misclicked my link to join as a guest and saw that I went to last week's. So you were trapped in the same vortex as I was trying to get back on. And so that's my apologies for being stupid, work, and trying to manage everything. I didn't get the right link out, and that's on me.
Capacitor.
And so you need to go into the Local Pundit or Daz's and hit the link there, or wait till Saturday. And I apologize. That's
I think what it is, once the broadcast starts, you can't republish or connect your channel to it.
So
the 1 point on Kieran, I've done a video, like a double header for Newport County, and Kieran kindly donated some footage for the away game that my friends went down to and provided.
Good lad.
And he obviously he was loving that game, wasn't he? It was like they'd won the FA Cup before they'd even played Man United. But the Worldwide Reds, Wrexham AFC, tried to conquer them, but we only ended up with the 3 points at home.
He knows his football. He's good. He's 18. He knows his football. Although he did jinx his team on Saturday, but he's like, we're gonna win this game against Stockport, and it's Stockport
smashed us. I'm going to leave it. I've had some tech issues here, and that's on me. This has gone for a little bit longer than I was hoping. I know I've got a bunch of emails to send off and stuff yet to do today. And so I'll probably stay on for another 10 minutes. So if you do want to come in and join Kieran or others, if you're on my channel, I guess that means I'm punting you off of it and sending you elsewhere, which is fine. So go over to the Local Pundit or Dad's Publishing and set that all up. Trying to find out how do we address this for moving forward. Bolton was one of the changes that we suggested. McLean's obviously going to be out, so we suspect maybe a couple of changes from the last three unchanged. You can't fault Ogonko was good except for that nervy play off the Boyle header. Lee was around. I found that Lee is so much better when he's driving the center of the pitch than when he's pushing down the left side, and he was doing that today. That half turn, and so I want to see more of that.
He had a few spells of decent interplay with Mullin again, but again, not as much as we have seen. And again, where you have McLean on the left, Lee in the centre, and Mullin out on the left, passing triangles. Obviously we haven't seen that for a few games, but they're really sort of connecting. There's that chemistry that's coming, and hopefully it'll just click right when we need it the most for that vital running. So what we're down to now, nine games remaining. 18 points.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't go long ball. I think we went long ball left and right too much. We didn't get the ball on the ground a little bit. I felt like we got managed. I felt like they managed us too well.
Yeah, totally.
And that's the frustrating part. And it'd be more frustrating if Mansfield won. But I think we're in a solid position because we have the 6 pointers ahead of us. So. I think Sean said it all depends on what happens on Thursday.
I have a tendency to ask my under eights after a training session or a match. I'll say, give me one thing each that we could have done better, or what would you improve? What did you like about what your teammates did? And for me, I just think that Parky, the advice I'd give him would be do a bit of a breaking lines session this week. Just breaking lines, because if that was a textbook, any team coming to the racecourse now for our, how many is it, 5 remaining home games, any
Right.
team that's coming to the racecourse, that is a masterclass in how to draw a point. So for me, we've just got to be more brutal, stop switching out to the sides and hitting it back, which there's a time and a place to do that, but we're far too consistent at doing it at the minute, rather than having 3 or 4 or 5 players in the box. Have a bloody shot, you know what I mean? Increase that ratio of shots on target. 17-4 is not good enough, Parky. We expect better at home.
Yeah, it's a tough one to wind this one down, because you can't fault the effort. Everybody was up and down the pitch to a man, up and down the pitch. Ogarko, when asked and very briefly had answers. The back line, overperformed. Well, not. Do I want to say over expected? It's starting to become expected. They did their job, and they did it knowing that they were going to be facing a lot of long balls, and there were a lot of easy flicks to free men to move things forward. There weren't a lot of giveaways. I don't have a lot of criticism other than we just couldn't crack the nut. We couldn't get that. And Hughes said it about 5 times in the chat, and I didn't bring them up, but he's right. That if we would have got one, I think we would have got 3 or 4, because I don't think Harrogate is built to go running down the pitch. And I think that they would have ended up, you ruin your shape when you do that if you're not used to it and you're used to the long ball. I think we would have been okay. So,
Stace has put Marius got score chances like that. I think we did discuss earlier. He was probably a bit cold. He just come on, so maybe that's why he not really got going.
He's not sharp. He's definitely not sharp. He's just not. It's not on the pitch. You know what I mean? So
I think he's going to be a potential real baller next season, though. You know what I mean? When we get to League One,
I still have my faith. I'm with you, Baz, but I know that there are a lot of people who've changed their minds and they're going south and saying, "What did we do? We've got ourselves another
Billy Waters."
Yeah. And so talk for right now, I'm more optimistic seeing Marriott than I ever was on Waters.
But Stace made a great point, and this is what we talked about at the top, right? Harrogate Town away form is second in the league. You know what I mean? So how you doing, Stace? So to be fair, this is not a team that goes out and gets rolled over. So they did what they needed to do away from home. So fair play, and we want to be greedy. But fair play to what Harrogate did today. They managed the game very, very well, and we didn't make enough chances, and that's kind of how I see it. And that's going. I don't think we need to be any more negative than that, in my opinion. But
holy jeez, Mike Starkey's just put a comment there that when we play Tranmere on Saturday, it'll be 2 months to the day since we've scored in front of the second. That's an outstanding statistic, not one you want to be reading. I
want to know where he pulled that one from. Yeah. Where did he pull that one from?
He's robbed
that. Is that Josh?
He's pulled that one off. He must have.
You went like this, so I was like, you were replying to a comment to you, and I was like,
I didn't do it.
No, I want to know where he got that. That's impressive stuff. Yeah, and so I'm gonna tell you, Kieran and Aaron, I've tried to pull the link here and even link directly from the studio, and it's sending me to the wrong place. So
I've put a private link. But I can't see how I can put it in the chat. But maybe I put a link to mine if you want to post that.
Like I can invite. I can tell you, I can invite up to 10 guests, and I hit the link and I've put it down here. And
Spencer Harris, that's where he's got it from.
Good
stats.
So Spencer Harris. So it's not working.
There it is.
And I think I know that's what I posted directly from this stream that we're on. That you guys 3 can see the URL. So this is a tech issue on my end. I think I know what has happened. One of the issues that you have in filling out all of your tax forms for YouTube is that you've got to set up your AdSense before, and it went mucky on my end. And so I had to change some stuff, and I think I've stuffed it for this broadcast only, I'm hoping. I think that's what did it, and it's broadcasting a different thing. So when you guys go through that process, call me or message me so you don't make the same stupid mistakes that I did.
I'll call you next week.
Yeah, do it. Go over to both of theirs and hit the subscribe button, and then they'll get their, because I've just finally got through that whole nut job problem. So anyway.
It's a
Stacey, Starkey's got a question for you, Stacey. As we're turning into the nonsense already at 1 hour and 20 minutes, and I do want to let Kieran in, but the reality is we have a tech issue. I've got to go back to work anyway, so we will clear these problems up. Let's play. What do we do leading forward to? I guess we've already done that. What do we expect coming forward here from our next match? I haven't looked up anything. Do you guys have any insight as to
nothing but goddamn victory?
Who are we playing? Sorry, I didn't look it up.
Tranmere.
Yeah, it's Tranmere.
They won.
Lily Whites.
So their fans will be fired up.
Yeah.
And there'll be stuff. And hey, we finally got somebody in, so maybe it does work. Let's bring Aaron in because he's been trying the whole time.
Oh shit! Here we go.
I have to do this.
Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing?
If I can click the button to let him in, I see him in the. There we go.
He's in.
Aaron.
Yep.
We got you. I got you. Thank you so much for sticking with it. I think he's probably spent the entire hour and 10 minutes trying to figure out what was going on.
He's sitting outside. His kids are wrestling. He's waiting outside, just chilling. That's what he's doing.
He's chilling outside. Aaron, did I lose you? I see voice a moving and no sound, and which would just perfectly sum up my day.
I love it. This honestly, when we look another year from now, when we look back at this, we're like, hey, look,
this will be all cleared up and we'll have it all figured out. I'm going to make multiple people to be administrators so that when this all happens, people can take over and manage the chat and do all that sort of stuff. The one thing is the live calls. Like the one thing I can't control is, Wi-Fi going out or anything like that. I finally get people in, and this is what happens. Aaron, I've got you on full volume. I've got everything there. It should be you if you say hi. I can at least see your lips move.
As a little bit of a time filler, we in today's match program, which has got a beautiful little Ollie Palmer and Super Paul Mullin. There's some interesting facts about Andy Cannon. So we'll go around the table. Does anyone guess what the last film that Andy Cannon watched? You'll never guess it in a million years.
Give me three options, and I'll give me three options, and I'll get it right. Was
it the Wolf of Wall Street, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, or was it American Pie?
American Pie.
No, it was in fact Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
That wasn't going to be my guess as we go through the trivia questions. Aaron, I feel like a pup here, and I apologize to you, man. I always go off the board whenever people say movie stuff and just go with my favorite movie of all time that nobody's really ever heard of and say The Game by Michael Douglas. And
hey, by the way, go watch Dune 2. Producer Ann made it. Go watch Dune 2. Yeah. My wife.
So maybe we should just do the hand around because obviously, Aaron, I'm super apologetic. Tech issues on my end. It's a thing. We're going to get you in on Saturday. I promise. Clean this whole mess up. And I appreciate the over 100... Almost 200 people in here watching, which is impressive, and I like that. And I feel like I've let you down with the tech stuff, but we'll figure that out. And like Josh said,
you right there. By the way, let me just say this real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. Fair credit to Sean and putting this together. And this is not easy to do. It's a lot of work, and he cares immensely. So fair credit to him and Baz and everyone putting it together. So everyone that comes in, please God, this is a great community growing, and Sean has started this in regards to like putting everyone together. So please give a shout out, smash a like to him and Baz as well. So I want to give that credit to everyone out there to
without
Sean.
Without doubt,
thank you.
Because none of this would have been possible without you facilitating it. We're all really grateful.
Yeah, we'll improve it. Thank you. And we'll get her figured out. In the interim, Josh is going to have videos during the midweek. I'm sure we've got the surprise coming up. Did you say it was on Saturday before the game, Baz, with your special guest?
Saturday, I'll probably get this special guest to join on Saturday, and I don't know. Let's go out there. It'll either be we'll find a decent, most suitable venue in Wrexham post game to do all the breakdown, post match analysis, and a very special guest. But I'm not going to spoil anything. So make sure you press the share button. We'll put it on Twitter, and
I'll get the links out early and with the links
out. Yeah, not before 24 hours. Make sure it's within 24 hours, though. Yeah.
Well done. Let me know.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem. Yeah, I can't be too soon. I'll make the graphics and get it ready, but it'll come out when it comes out. Other than that, I'm just so busy with work, so that the only thing that I'm doing is really the watch parties, watch alongs. I'm hoping that's going to change here in the next couple of weeks. But it just is the nature of the beast for me. And it is what it is. To everybody that was here, over 100, almost 200 of you, and that's current concurrent. We've had a fairly good turnover for this one.
Well done.
Let's get to Tranmere. let's deal with this. We played well, but we had an unfortunate result. It's going to happen. And away we go, up the town, and we'll see you on Saturday. Take care, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Bombshell. See you guys soon. See you guys.